Okay, so this is part two. Quick update on the old one. Actually, once I rode it around the block, it actually rode quite well. I think a couple of tanks of good optimum fuel that will do it no end of good. I'm quite happy for that to go back to the customer. So today we're going to move on, and we've got a minor service on a Hayabusa, and we're going to do an MOT. We've got a few other bits to do as well. So I'm going to put you on time lapse and see how we go. Okay guys, well, on closer inspection we can see that someone's been in there. Don't quite know what they were doing, but also what worries me a little bit, let's see if you can shine the torch on it. Got some sealant going on where the oil filter housing goes, which is a bit of a no-no in itself. But what's even worse, and I'm going to try and show you, but I don't know if I can. We'll have a look. You see there, the actual sump's been welded up. It was actually weeping ever so slightly, as you can see. But yeah, someone I think has over tightened the plug at some stage and cracked the sump, which isn't unheard of on the odd Suzuki. I've seen it done a few times. They've obviously welded the sump up. So yeah, and what they've done is they've used a sump washer with a integrated rubber O-ring to try and stop it leaking. So if I'm to put a standard sump plug on there, which is what I would have normally done, it probably would leak. So in this instance, I'm probably going to have to reuse that washer, bearing in mind that it is no ring, so it should be okay. I might be tempted to put some sealant around the bottom. It's not the normal practice, but you got to do what you got to do to stop it leaking. The customer's probably not going to want to go to the expense of fitting a new sump, which is what really you need to be doing. But the trouble is, when you look at the exhaust studs, and especially that one there, it's hard to see, but it's had a bit of work and it hasn't got like a factory type nut on. It's had some work. Certainly in the future as well, you see these sort of pair valve pipes, they're going to start causing problems before too long as well. They normally rot through and it sounds like you've got an exhaust leak, but you haven't. It's actually just these are leaking. So yeah, so the sealant, the sump, the oil filter was a work of art as well. You can see the scratches and marks on it. I don't know quite what they were doing getting that on there. Quite impressive actually. Customer's got a lovely polished frame up to the bit where the fairing was on, and then they've stopped. Which also I've noticed this isn't actually really attached to anything either, so I'm going to have to look into doing something about that, I think. Got some odd discs on there as well. They must eat the brake pads. But anyway, I'm going to carry on servicing it now, and I'll break back to it later. Okay guys, so on to the next job now. This customer's experiencing gear change problems. Mainly since I fitted these footboards here. Customer's got cancer and he's having trouble. He likes these not only for looks, but they're good to rest his feet on. So since I fitted these, the gear lever before, I've had to position it to the point where it's sort of over centre on its stroke, so you're losing a little bit of leverage on the gear change. So it makes it a little bit stiff, but it does actually change gear. I can change gear with it fine. I'm used to it, but because of, I think he's got reduced strength in his feet, legs, whatever, due to his treatment, probably. I'm gonna have to come up with a solution to try and make it more rideable for him, quite rightly so as well. So what I'm gonna do, I think, let's try to show you, where are we? Right, so we've got this gear lever here. Now I'm going to cut this off here, and I've made this, where's the camera? There we go. Made this adapter here, which I'm going to weld in place, probably at sort of that angle, and then I'm going to weld this section I've cut off onto the top of here. So then what will happen then is I've got adjustment. So I've also, let's see, can you see it? I've actually moved this round 2 teeth on the spline. Before it was actually it was at that angle, so he was losing probably leverage on the gear change there as well. So what that will do is that will give him extra leverage there anyway, to be able to change. But of course, by doing that, now obviously this lever's in the wrong position. So once I've welded the adapter on, which is obviously then adjustable, so we can get it into the right position for him, we're going to, then he can decide where he wants it. And it should give him a lot more power in order with his foot. You will lose a little bit of downshift leverage, but I think he'll find it easier to actually push on it rather than lift his foot up, if you like. So I think that's the way to go. And the beauty of it is, if it isn't right, I'll cut it off and we'll go again and we'll do something else. It's not a problem. But the main thing is, he wants to be able to ride it. He is struggling at the moment, so we're gonna see what we can do. So I'm gonna leave it here, put you on some time lapse and see how we go.